October Red Boxing here with Chris Eubank Jr. and Chris Eubank Sr.'s trainer, Ronnie Davies. Welcome to October Red Boxing.
Thank you, John. You look lovely. I love that coat.
See, I like to start things off with a compliment, but today it's all about you and your fighter, Chris Eubank Jr., taking on a really good opponent, an opponent that we're expecting a really exciting fight from. Your thoughts as the coach on how this fight will go?
It's going to be a very hard fight, and I'm going to say truthfully, I think it's a great fight for the public. It's a genuine 50-50 fight, and to quote an old saying, which you don't hear anymore, only when it's 50-50, may the best man win.
I love the old school. You're no stranger to boxing because you were in the corner with Chris's father, Senior, the man that started it all off. I want to ask you, as a trainer of both of them, do you see similarities in them in the gym?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Both exactly the same, loads of ways. Both got great focus, great dedication, great will to win. Very much so, yeah.
So that personality that you obviously took from the father down to the son, how did that gelling go when you obviously transferring it? Okay, I'm not training dad anymore, I'm training the son. How did that go to like swap over the fighters?
It was quite easy, there's no problem. Well, they're both the same, so it's just like dealing one the other. With them both, you had to know when to say things and when not. Well, they don't mean to say you've got to grovel around them or be a weak man, but it's being clever. That's what you had to be with them both. They're both different people, they're both great showmen, but you've got to be careful. Don't say the wrong things, that's all you've got to be with them type of people.
And when you talk about saying the wrong thing, Ronnie, educate a fool like me. You're in the gym, you understand it. What is it about a coach-fighter relationship where you've got to really, I don't know, kind of not baby them, but kind of like you said, not say the wrong thing?
You've got to make them feel happy with themselves, make them feel confident. Don't take away any self-belief. Don't fill their minds with a load of things. You're going to be this, you're going to be that when they're not. Just deal with the basic first and let them deal with it.
It's interesting because sometimes when people, well, when you say don't say the wrong thing, they think maybe you're trying to train like to be a yes man, but it's not that, is it?
No, it's not that at all. It's just as I said, you just got to say the right things at the right time and know when to keep quiet. If they're in a bad mood, just let it go. Not, don't try and rule fighters. That's what people do. They try and rule them. You mustn't do that. They've got to have their own heads. And if you try and baby them too much, then they're going to have that self-belief.
And how important is that self-belief when going into fights? And we can go back to Chris Eubank Sr. when, the fights that he's been in, the showmanship that he had, the way he put British boxing on the map with just who he was, that confident being.
Yeah, he was. He was a one-off, a totally one-off. You won't get the likes of him again, I don't think, in our lifetime. Well, definitely not on mine. I've got left.
What was it like when he first came into your gym or when you first started to train him, when you first met Chris Eubank Sr.? What was that like?
Yeah, it was brilliant. I had a stable full of good fighters. I had about 10 fighters then. We're going back 1987. He walked in the gym. He started training. He just come over from America. And he said, I like you, Mr. Davis. He always called Mr. Davis. Don't know why. And he said, I'd like to give you a month's trial. And I thought to myself, that cheeky sod. Do you know what I mean? But I could see what talent it was. So I just stepped back. Let him see what he is. And I'll just let him have his own head from there on. When you've got a talent like that, same with Junior a lot, let them have their own head. Then they develop their own style. You try and put too much into him, you ruin that natural ability.
When you say he had his own style, and like you said, you thought he was a bit cheeky, which he is, he's confident. So that wasn't anything that you had to build on. It's sort of like you said, just letting them be themselves and grow into the boxer that they are supposed to become.
That's exactly right. You can't put that into him. He had both of them great natural ability. You take that away because there's too many trainers. They manufacture their boxers. They're all going to be the same way, aren't they? If you can teach them, I mean, I boxed and I was quite a good boxer. But if you show them the way you box, they're all going to be the same, aren't they? They've got to have their own head. I'm too good for this, aren't I?
No, I love it because honestly, you haven't seen my channel before, but I actually enjoy speaking to trainers because, like I said, I say it all the time, you guys are the third eye. However, that fighter still needs to be themselves because they can go into a fight, say, for example, you plan and prepare for a fight. Or, in fact, is that your style? Do you have a plan for your fighter when they go into a fight?
Definitely not. I've never had a plan for any of the seniors' fights. He's done his job in the gym. If he doesn't know what to do when he gets in, he shouldn't be boxing. He can go forward, he can go back, he can go to the side, fights all the way. And when they say, oh, they brought a southpaw and now he's trained to fight, that's a load of rubbish. You should be able to deal with any situation put in front of you if you've done your job.
Similar words to Paddy Lynch. Paddy Lynch, a trainer from Birmingham, he said, plans are for houses. You've got to be able to box off instinct. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm making 100% right. Tell him he's got my full backing on that.
So we talk about Liam Smith then. Liam Smith's kind of style, his aggressive come forward style. How does that mix with Chris Eubank Jr?
Well, that'd be great because they both can box, they both can fight, and they're both very experienced, hard men. It'll be a great fight.
And how do you see the fight ending up? Obviously, you are Chris's trainer. I know he's bringing in Roy Jones Jr. And in fact, let me touch on that. I spoke to Roy Jones Jr. when he fought. God, I can't remember the one in Wales now. I told you I'm rubbish with names. The Welsh chap. Williams. Yeah. Roy Jones Jr. said to me that sometimes Chris Eubank, he's not trying to change Chris Eubank's style because sometimes it's Chris Eubank Jr. He's going to need that style to be able to beat that fighter. So if he obviously defaults to that training style, his style that he's got, his natural style, that is the best way that he can win a fight. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I work well with Roy. We both work together. He's 100% right. He mustn't change his style because he is what he is. But if he can add something to it, then good.
What is it like then as an experienced head coach as yourself that's, like you said, been training since the 1980s? What is it like when another trainer comes into the camp and you have to work as a team? How does that go for you?
Yeah, they work as long as they know the job. I don't mind. If someone comes in and trying to say things to me and I know nothing, then fair enough. I'll go by experience, and he's very experienced, so there you go.
Have you had that situation where somebody's come in and they don't know what they're doing? You're like, this just can't work.
No, I've never had that. Because I wouldn't have it.
We love it. So how do you see this fight going then on January the 21st?
I see a late stoppage or points win for Eubank.
Positivity only. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to Chris Eubank Jr.'s trainer, Ronnie Davies. Until the next time, October Red Boxing, thank you for your time.
All right, darling, thanks a lot.
Hi, and thank you for watching October Red Boxing. Like, subscribe, and tap the bell for notifications. You can also find us on Instagram at October Red Boxing and on Twitter, October Red UK. And remember, at October Red, we stay ready.